Hello YouTube, June 19th, and we're here with part 5 of Andrew Yang's platform. A little bit bittersweet because I didn't want to do all the videos back to back to back, but considering that I've been hit with a couple bombshells from different areas this week in my life, um, it's thrown me off my game where I can't necessarily do any other videos right now that I'm planning on doing. So we're going to get to the politics of it this week. So this is going to be pretty much a political week with Andrew Yang. So if you haven't seen the first 4 parts, I will leave it down below in the description box. And when you look in the comment section, all the videos are time stamped, including this video. I timestamp them within a day of uploading, so you might not see it if you immediately click on it within the first 24 hours. But definitely by 24 hours, the timestamps will be in the description box. So the last video we ended right on the topic of southern. No, we stopped right here on southern border security. This was the last one that we did because I remember we did like 6 points in all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, we ended that pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. And now we going, and it said, and I definitely apologize for that, y'all. I do got my notifications on. Oh, well, okay. Let me clear out my. Oh. Now I thought I did this earlier. My notifications just darn on pinging left and right. Okay, now we got that out the way. But anyways, on to southern border security. So border security along with our southern border has many issues that need to be fixed to provide security for Americans and equity in our immigration system. You need to look no further than the stats on how many undocumented individuals are living in the U.S. or the amount of drugs that have been apprehended along the border, suggesting a much larger amount that made it through. Many propose, speaking of drugs, but they just darn gone seized the boat. From what I'm seeing on the news, that had 16 tons of darn on cocaine. They said it amounted to well over $1 billion. I'm like, damn, 16 tons, 16 tons of cocaine. And once again, where do you think that boat came from, Andrew Yang? You know, you mentioned about getting China together. Now, this will be a good talking point. Now, I'm going to definitely come with y'all with the debates. Honey, I have it set the 26th and the 27th. I'm going to be looking at the darn on Democratic debates. And I want to say Andrew Yang is scheduled on the second day alongside Elizabeth Warren. The main contenders on the first debate is Senator Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, Biden, and Cory Booker. And I think Andrew Yang is on the second day with Elizabeth Warren. So, honey, we going to darn on circle back to this, especially with this darn on 16 tons of crack cocaine. I want to hear that on the darn on debate, honey, about the darn on, getting the drugs and stuff together. But anyways, back to southern border security, honey. Many proposals will be expensive and ineffective while also being eco- ecological disastrous. The issue has become politicized to the point where there doesn't seem to be any possible compromise, but our leaders are focusing on single solutions instead of solutions proposed by groups across the political spectrum. When searching for solutions, we need to work with border security experts, immigration advocates, and the Mexican government to provide effective, secure human border security. See Andrew's policies on a pathway to citizenship, which I will put down in the description box below. That was in the previous video. That is Andrew Yang's platform number 4. Search in the comments section for the specific timestamp of where I talk about it. And then the Dream Act is what is going to come up after this one right here. To get a more complete view of how Andrew would tackle the immigration on and border security issue. Okay. So we already mentioned about that with the pathway to citizenship. Once again, look out for that. Look for that one in section 4, and we're going to get to the Dream Act right now. But this is a brief statement of what he would do. He says increase funding to secure our landed ports of entry where most drugs enter the United States. Increase funding to our customer enforcement teams that are tasked with preventing human trafficking both into and out of the U.S. Yeah, we definitely need to get that together. I mean, the fact that 20,000 Native American women were trafficked last year and it hasn't been spoken upon no major platform other than the Breakfast Club. Also, the numerous black women to the tune of where we can't even count how many have been trafficked is definitely a problem. But anyways, carrying on, provided body cameras for all ages along the U.S.-Mexican border. Make sure they are also turned on. I mean, the cameras don't do shit if they have the option to just keep them off. But invest heavily in protecting and renewing the Rio Grande, which serves as a great natural boundary and currently ecological struggling. Provide all resources necessary to allow our asylum court system to function properly, lower the backlog of cases, and thus removing one of the prime reasons we've seen caverns increasing in size and frequency. Work with the Mexican government on all these initiatives as well as anti-cartel initiatives to ensure a positive relationship that allows both countries to serve the needs of their citizens. Okay, I'm pretty much here for it. I mean, we'll get more into detail on border security in comparison to other candidates in a later video. But right now, he's pretty solid. So now we're going to go to the DREAM Act. So there are millions of undocumented immigrants in the country who were brought here as children through no fault of their own. America is the only home they ever known. They assimilated into our culture and view themselves as Americans, despite living under the constant fear of deportation. This is wrong. We need to find a solution that allows these individuals to formally integrate into our country, which I mentioned once again in the last video. Y'all feel free to go to that one. See Andrew's policies on pathway to citizenship and border security for a more complete view of how to address this complex issue. As president, support the DREAM Act as a part of a comprehensive immigration and border security reform. See my policy pages on southern border security and a pathway to citizenship to get a sense of the key parts of the comprehensive plan. Okay, now we on to right to privacy / abortion and contraception. And this is another hot topic because in the midst of them trying to overturn Roe versus Wade, a certain demographic of people's population is going down astronomically. So they're doing everything in their power to get more babies into the world, even if they mean forcing, rape babies and babies committed through incest. They're trying to get more white, particular demographic of babies in as much as possible. So this is very much of a hot topic across all political groups right now. So to get into what Andrew Yang has to say about it, in a perfect world, only those who are ready for and desire a child will become pregnant, but that's not the world we live in. Everyone has a right to bodily integrity, and more needs to be done to ensure that women have and maintain that right. Access to birth control should be provided to all Americans. It should be the decision of each individual whether she wants to use it, not a decision made for her by the doctor, family, or whatever she lives. I definitely do agree with over-the-counter birth controls. I mean, that'll prevent from the abortion process happening anyway if you can give over-the-counter birth controls as opposed to it being prescribed by the doctor. Access to safe and affordable abortion services should be provided to all Americans. Requirements placed by individual states on access should be subject to oversight by a board of doctors, not the whim of legislators who have no background on the procedure or even the basics of medicine. The two most effective ways to decrease the number of abortions are to provide every woman with access to contraceptives and to provide financial, emotional, and structural support to individuals who are financially struggling and become pregnant. Universal basic income would accomplish this for many prospective parents. That's a policy talking point because once again there's many situations that involve unattended pregnancies that don't necessarily have to do with income status. Like I said, they're going as far as to make rape victims and children of incest having babies as well. So UBI only affects people over the age of 18. What about teenagers who are going through this as well? So yeah, that's why I say UBI is a policy talking point because that only affects people income above the age of 18, not under. Also, in situations of rape and incest, um, that is not going to help. And also dealing with the current climate of a certain group trying to overturn Roe versus Wade, we got to deal with that as well. So as president, Andrew Yang plans on appointing judges who support a woman's right to choose, in every circumstance, and provide the resources for planning and contraception. I'm here for it. Now, I'm going to make a whole separate video on abortion rights because there is some things that I'm not here for that I mentioned, but I'm going to make a whole video on that within itself. But overall, I'm about 70% with this. So next is campaign finance reform. In the wake of the Citizens United ruling, money has flooded our political system like never before. A handful of wealthy individuals can now influence policy as much or more than millions of ordinary Americans. This has led to both increasing distance between policymakers and citizens, as well as uh, dissensions with politics among more and more people. It has also led to policies that increase the record wealth and income inequality in our country, which is as extreme as it has ever been in our history. And then, as President, Andrew Yang plans on to support a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United. You know what you proposing a lot of constitutional amendments, and how partisan these doggone two parties is. I have to be doggone remiss if I didn't you know put this into perspective that you can propose an amendment, but the chances of that shit going through is very slim. I mean, the fact that the last amendment that has ever been put through has been what, over 50 years ago. There has not been no amendment in no modern day history that has been implemented. Matter of fact, let me Google search the last amendment right now. What is the last amendment of the Constitution? I'm trying to look up. So the last amendment was the 27th Amendment, which was back in 1992. We haven't had an amendment since before I was born. So yeah, good luck with trying in this time frame trying to get 2/3 of any house, the Senate and the House of Representatives to try to get through. But anyways, carrying on, which was a terrible decision that has made our policies even more polarized. Support a public financing system of elections to reduce the influence of money in our democracy and open up the field beyond the very wealthy. Eliminate super PACs and vessels for corporate intervention in campaigns. Enforce our current campaign finance laws and the curb corruption. Well, I don't see this really going through. I mean, I'm going to tell you this right now. Between certain Democrats and Republicans, on both sides, I don't see you getting enough darn gone sane Republicans and Democrats that can come on to this bill and to the tune of 2/3, I really don't see it. We getting through these quite fast today, y'all. One, two, three, four. We already on to number 5. Wait a minute. One, two, three. No, we're not. We're on number 4. Campaign finance reform. Oh no, that was the one we just went through. So we are on the number 6 already. So fight for equal pay. For most of the country's history, marginalized groups were either not allowed to participate in certain jobs or their opportunities in those professions were limited. And this legacy persists today not only in the opportunities afforded to people, but also in the compensation people receive for performing the same work. This is stupid. People should receive equal pay for doing equal work. While federal law requires this, we're still far from achieving it in practice. There's a lot of fuzziness around the 80 cents to the dollar stat, especially once you take as well as gender into account. But the simple fact remains that women, especially black, Hispanic, and Native American, even much less than their male co-workers. Laws that prevent employers from retaliating against workers who share salary data and others that force employers to disclose that public information are band-aids that try to account for the issues on the back end. The federal government must do more to ensure that anyone performing the same work in substantially similar situations should receive equal pay. As president, I plan on to pay all federal workers who are performing the same job the same salary, work with states to implement salary disclosure laws, refuse to hire outside contractors slash companies that won't disclose salary information for their employees, and who don't provide equal pay for all employees who are performing equivalent work. Pilot studies to see if different policies result in more equitable hiring and pay in the federal workforce. Uh, Example, blind hiring, 360 review promotion. Okay, I'm 80% in agreement with this one. Next, we got promote vocational education. I might need this a little bit with my darn on southern accent. How I be, effing up some words. I know y'all saying, this would be the one for you, Diva. I already know some of y'all probably done said that. That's okay. I want to call my own self out before y'all call me out. But anyways, it seems we're preparing our children for college earlier and earlier. College readiness is a driving force behind many educational decisions in this country. This has resulted in only 6% of American high school students being enrolled in a vocational program in 2013, whereas comparable to European nations have numbers closer to 50%, which is, wow, half of the school force. For those that do start college, graduating isn't a sure thing. 6 years after first enrolling, fewer than 60% of students have attained a degree. If you look at only open admission schools, the numbers drop to 32%. That represents a huge investment of money and time on part of the Americans that doesn't lead them to a positive outcome. On the other side, the unemployment rate for recent college grads is approaching 44%, and 1/3 end up in jobs that don't require the degree they earn. Honey, ain't that the damn truth, honey? College is being overprescribed in this country. Not everyone has an interest in attaining a college degree, and there are many jobs out there that don't require it. Georgetown has estimated that there are 30 million good paying jobs out there that don't require a college degree. Most require some type of specialized training. As a country, we need to dramatically increase our investments in vocational training, providing a viable career path for those students who are more interested in starting their careers immediately after high school and instead of continuing with an education they don't want but feel obligated to get. As president, Andrew Yang plans on increasing funding to the vocational programs within public schools, direct the Department of Education to provide materials to all public schools about career paths that don't require a college degree, prioritize career paths that students express interest in rather than giving blanket advice that college is the right/only option, began a public education campaign champion vocational jobs in education. I work with my hands and it's awesome. Okay. I can agree with this one. I don't have no complaints on this one at all. Next is we got carbon fee and dividend. So the cost of burning fossil fuels is paid by all of us, but the benefits are disproportionately gained by the industry. There is very little incentive to control the rate at which fossil fuels are burnt or CO2 is released into the atmosphere. While a carbon tax would disincentivize the burning of fossil fuels, the money would enter the federal bureaucracy and be detached from other solutions to the problems associated with climate change. A carbon fee and dividend similar to the one proposed by the Conservative Climate Leadership Council will allow businesses to find market-based solutions to their carbon release while benefiting American citizens and providing funding for alternative fuel research and upgrade to our current energy systems. It could also be used to subsidize fuel causes for low-income Americans. As president, Andrew Yang proposed a carbon fee and dividend system that set an initial carbon tax of $40 a ton, which will increase in regular intervals. Use that tax to find after administrative fees, 50% the universal basic income. Oh, so he got another way to fund this UBI bill. Okay, 50% projects that are enhancing efficiency of fossil fuels or increasing availability of renewable resources. Create a border carbon adjustment to protect American goods that would charge a fee to import from countries that don't impose a similar carbon fee or some type of carbon tax. Provide a rebate to export to countries that don't impose a similar carbon fee or some type of carbon tax. Okay. Now the only thing is not as effect this policy is not as in depth as somebody like Elizabeth Warren. And like I said, I do think he is going up against Elizabeth Warren on June 27th. So he's going to have to add some more to this in this particular section. But then again, he has mentioned, I think we have gone over that in certain other sections. Let's see real quick. Because I don't recall going over fossil fuels in none of my other parts of the videos. Okay, so we touched on climate change. So I guess it's the first time we really going into fossil fuels. So yeah, he's going to have to bring it a little bit more than that, honey, if he's going up against Elizabeth Warren. But anyways, increase teacher salaries. Okay, now this is another big one because you're going up against Bernie Sanders, whose platform is to make teacher salaries a minimum of $60,000, which I am in agreement with. Me personally, I believe that all teachers should be making a minimum of $61,000, and if you have either tenure or a doctorate degree or a master's degree, you should be making a minimum of $66,000. And then by the year 2028, we can increase that by as much as another 10%. And by 2040, we should be on set to have all teachers making no less than $100,000. That is my plan if I was running for president, that all teachers would make no less than $100,000 by 2040, K through 12, with the immediate payouts being 61,000 for all teachers, going up to 66,000 by 2020. Wait a minute, 10% increase, that will put it a little bit higher than that. So by 2028, all teachers should be making $67,100 at the minimum. Teachers who have tenure by 2028 should be making $72,600 every year at the minimum. That would be me personally. Bernie Sanders just said 60,000 overall. Elizabeth Warren has been a proponent of teacher pay increases. I haven't heard anybody else mention teachers. I haven't heard Senator Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, or any of the other 16 candidates really mention teachers like that. So one of the primary factors in educational outcomes is the quality of the teachers in the classroom. Most policies to improve teacher quality are focused on education and monitoring. While these policies have their places, there is a more direct method to attracting people who will be strong teachers while also incentivizing those who are currently teaching to pay them more. Teacher salaries should be higher along with the hiring standards and quality expectations. By improving the quality of teacher in our public education system and incentivizing them to improve their craft, educational outcomes will improve. And then just a simple sweet sentence: as president, work with the states to fund their educational systems to improve the teacher salaries and reduce layers of administration, leading to better educational outcomes. Yeah, along with that, there should be some federal guideline requirements. Like, once again, there should be a minimum set bar. So, yeah, he's definitely going to lose up against Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders on this one. Like, Bernie Sanders is very specific on making the minimum wage for teachers $60,000. Whereas, Andrew Yang is talking about no set amount for him. But he got a personal story right here. It's been demonstrated that teacher quality is the key factor that student success, and paying teachers more is an effective way to get more talented people into the classroom. My friend Zeke Vanderhoek started a charter school that manages to pay teachers $125,000 a year on the budget of a normal school. Not surprisingly, his school has great teachers and outstanding outcomes. We should reduce layers of administration in schools and apply the money to pay teachers at higher levels, particularly those who have proven track records and results. And once again, this actually goes more in line with what I'm saying. Like I said, by 2040, all teachers should be making no less than $100,000. So you got a whole generation to get this together. You get elected in by 2021, within the next 3 presidents, we should be able to get this teacher pay under control to the level of $100,000 for all teachers across the board at the minimum. But immediately starting out, all teachers who have tenure should start out at $66,000. So now we got early childhood education for all. Education in America start too late. There have been massive benefits shown to offer pre-kindergarten options to children throughout their lives. I mean, I actually went to pre-K and it was good for me. But obviously, some people have the option to just wait to kindergarten. But I'm definitely in for pre-K. But anyways, especially for those from low-income families, it also increases social ability and it relieves the financial burden of finding daycare for families who struggle to afford it. As president, Andrew Yang plans on the direct Department of Education to work with states to create a plan for universal pre-K education, provide loan forgiveness for education majors who volunteer at places that provide pre-K. Now this is good. Education loan forgiveness. Okay, now he might have a one up on Bernie and Elizabeth with this one right here. But overall, the school argument, he still got a little bit more work to do. You got work to do. You trying to get the top job, baby. If you trying to get the top job of president of the land, you got to bring it a little bit more, honey. But you do got 1 point on that one with providing loan forgiveness in that particular area, because it's like you can make colleges free, but honey, the loans that are already active are still active. So providing incentives to forgive loans that are currently active with people, that's a good plus as well. And we're going to actually stop it at that one. So we actually a little bit early today. I think we're only, what, 21 minutes into this video? I can't see my time. Oh, no, we a half hour into this video. Still a little bit shorter than what we normally do. Usually we go on upwards of an hour with these videos. But to summarize what we done went over today, we started off with the southern border security. So that's point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, look, we actually went through 9 points today within a half hour. Okay. We knocking these darn on slides right on out. So, next video, we will start off with legalized marijuana, because I already know that's going to be a long talking point. And then I seen right underneath it, make Puerto Rico a state. And y'all know I've already done a whole video on that. And so just that would just be a quick summary, redirecting y'all over there. But just these two alone, I know this is going to be like a good 20-minute topic. And then to add the rest of this, I don't got time today. So with that being said, y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. If like I said, the bullet points will be up within the first day of the video, so it might not be immediately up if you're looking at this, if it's uploaded on the same day, but it will. The timestamps will be uploaded within a day. So next we will go over these points right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's going to be a good hour video. And then we still got some more on this one. So 2 more bullet slides on this one, and we will be done. So that would be, we'll be on to like platform 7 when we get to this one. But anyways, for those platforms, y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure the bell notification is on so you know when I upload. And I will see y'all soon with more of these Andrew Yang videos. Mwah.